what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds. I'm a property investor myself, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing why landlords are screwed in 2023. If you are a landlord right now, you're probably quite aware of some of the changes. If you're thinking about becoming a landlord, you need to be aware of the massive changes that the government have done recently and the changes that they are planning to introduce over the coming months and years, which are completely killing off landlords. And then I'm going to share some of the things that you can do to step around the problems. Because as I say, what are the rich people doing? They're not screwing themselves. They're bringing changes in to screw the ordinary person. So what do you need to do? Follow the money and invest how they're investing. So I got a little surprise at the end of the video. I'm going to be doing a giveaway as well. So watch till the end. But the first reason why landlords are screwed is the tax changes. How do the rich usually stop people doing stuff? They can't ban it. If the government said, you're not allowed to buy houses anymore, you're not allowed to own more than one house unless you're an elite and you're one of us, there'd be a rebellion. So what they do instead is they just tax the crap out of the ordinary landlord. And that's what they've done with Section 24. I've been talking about Section 24 for 2 years now, but people are only realizing what it is now when they're seeing their tax returns and they're going, what is this? I'll tell you what Section 24 is. Section 24 is when you have to pay tax not on the profit. See, it's fair and ordinary and reasonable for the government to tax you on profit, right? If you make profit, you get taxed. But what they're doing to landlords is they're taxing landlords on the whole rent. So let me give you an example. If you're renting a property out for £1,000 a month and your mortgage payments are £500, that means that your profit is £500. 1,000 minus your mortgage payments, gross profit. You're gonna pay tax on what? Your profit. Not anymore. Section 24 is you pay tax on the whole rent. You can't claim back the mortgage payments as tax deductible. So the small rent that you were making is all going to the government. That is a horrible, nasty, brutal thing that I campaigned against, but it's coming to full effect and people are realizing it now. The second thing is tenants' rights. If you're a landlord and you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 houses and you're renting them out, if the tenant stops paying rent, in my opinion, you should be able to evict them easily. But the government are changing the legislation. They've done it already. They're going to be scrapping Section 21s. Now, if you've got a tenant that's not paying rent, it takes months to get them out. The landlord what, has to just pay? Has to just pocket the mortgage payments, pocket the maintenance, pocket the management fees out of his own pocket whilst the tenant's living rent-free for 6 months? When it goes to court? Disastrous. That is killing landlords right now. The third reason is EPC certificates. Let me explain what this is. EPC certificate, Energy Performance Certificate. And this shows how energy efficient the house is. And the lower the rating, the more energy efficient it is. So if it's like an A or a B or even a C, it means it's running really energy efficient. An F, fail. You can't rent a house out an F. It's not energy efficient enough. The government have recently said that all houses that are rented out have to be from April 2025 a C. Now you might think, well, so what? No. This is gonna screw a lot of landlords. Imagine you're a landlord and you own a house, or you own 3 or 4 houses, and they're an E. Now you've got to bring it down to a C. How do you bring it down to a C? Money. You've got to do things like maybe you've got to insulate the roof, get extra double glazing in different parts of the house. You've got to do that with what money? Because you ain't making money from the rental property anymore because of the tax changes. If the tenant isn't paying and you've had 6-month problems and you finally got rid of them, you've got another tenant in, a lot of landlords are skint. So now they're gonna have to pay what, £5,000? The government aren't paying. The government are enforcing the rule, but the landlords have to pay. So from April 2025, all buy-to-let properties have to be a C at the expense of the landlord. Next, the interest rate rises. On top of all of this, and it couldn't get any worse, interest rates have just spiked massively. Meaning that if you've got a property and you were paying £300 or £400 a month, now interest rates have tripled, you're not making any profit. Lose every which way. And to make things worse, it's not even like your asset is appreciating in value. You're a landlord, you just bought 3 houses, got all this crap, all these tax problems, interest rates rising. Now you're gonna have to shell out more money on EPC, but your house, your asset is falling in value. House prices are dropping. They keep every month, they're falling. They're predicted to fall 10% this year. So landlords are screwed right now in 2023. Now, what I want you to do right now, because what I'm doing now is I'm speaking honestly, but I'm also speaking negatively. Well, how I'm speaking now is how the media will speak. But the thing is this, the more that this message is spread about how difficult it is for landlords, and everyone goes, oh, it's a bad time, oh, don't buy a house, I'll sell my 3 houses that I had. Who am I going to sell them to? The rich. Who am I going to sell them to? Lloyd's Bank. Who am I going to sell them to? The people that made the rules in the first place that made me want to sell, now I'm going to sell to them. So they're taking away everything that I've got, and they're making it difficult for the average person, for me and you. So why? So that they can have everything. But why do they want everything and us to have nothing? Well, because they're not affected by the rules in the same way. So the tax changes, for instance, Section 24, if you buy a house and you're getting hit with Section 24 taxes, that's only if you buy a house. You shouldn't buy a house. You should set up a company, and the company should buy the house. And that means that you don't own the house, you own the company, and the company owns the house. Why is that important? Well, it protects you. Do you know if you have a company, all of the tax stuff I've been talking about, Section 24, doesn't apply to a company. Why? Because that's how they buy properties. They buy properties through companies. So what should you do? Buy properties through companies. How do you set your own company up? Go on companiesmadesimple.co.uk, choose your company name, set up a brand new virgin company right now, and then when you go to buy a house, you're gonna be a personal guarantor to the company so that you'll be able to get a mortgage, but you can still get the same tax breaks as the rich do. The EPC certificates, you should right now, like what they're doing, be finding landlords that have got EPCE, and they're like, oh, I'm not making any money. Oh, find the rundown houses, buy them, not with your own money. Do you think Lloyd's Bank use their own money? No. Whose money do they use? Our money. We put money in the bank. They don't keep it in the bank, locked away in a safe. They invest it. So what you should do is the same thing. You should be using other people's money and buying properties with a bad EPC rating. Buying the rundown houses, and the way that you're gonna push the value up of the properties is you're gonna fix it, you're gonna insulate it, you're gonna make it nice and push the value up. Now you can rent it out nicely. That's what they're doing. You should do what they're doing. And tenant eviction bans, I mean, listen, there's many ways around the tenant eviction bans. I've got a lot of tenants. I also have a lot of guests. See, if you're renting a property out to a tenant and they don't pay the rent, then you're in a difficult position. But if you're renting your property out to people on short stay lets, not only is it tax efficient, not only are you gonna do it through a company, not only are you gonna get way more profit, like it's now like a hotel business, but also guests have 0 rights, which means that if you're renting your property out short stay lets, you're getting way more money, paying way less tax, doing it through a company, but if they don't pay the rent, they have to go. They don't have any rights. That's what wealthy people are doing right now. This is called serviced accommodation. Or you can just rent your properties out to commercial tenants. If you've got HMOs, or rent them out to people, housing associations, whereby you're renting them out for a high rent, but you're not getting the same problems and same hassles that you normally have with tenants. I'm not saying you should never have any tenants, but I'm saying that certainly the bulk of your portfolio should be guests, should be commercial tenants, housing associations. You're gonna get more rent and you've got way less hassle. This is what the rich do. And the house price is falling. I mean, that, again, that's just an opportunity. The rich people control the media, control the government. And you might think I sound like a conspiracist. Go do your own research. They're the ones spreading the message of how doom and gloom it is out there. Why? So that everyone's like, oh, sell quick, sell quick. You need to be strategically buying cheap right now while everyone's scared, pushing the value up, renting properties out the right way, owning through a company. And I tell you something, you always got to follow the money. Watch what the rich are doing and go do the same. I think that now is a terrible time. I think it's a crisis. We've got a massive shortage of houses. It is a crisis. It is a hard time. But if you can maneuver your way through it, you can get very rich as a property investor, a property owner, and a property entrepreneur in 2023. I'd love to know your thoughts though. If you can't come up with opportunities in the market, if you think that even though through the doom and gloom and some of the hardships, if you can see opportunities, I want you to comment below all the opportunities that you can see in the marketplace right now. And this is the gift I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna be taking the best comment, the most entrepreneurial, creative comment. I'm gonna pin it to the top and I'm gonna ask you, what's your phone number? And I'm gonna get one of my mentors to give you a call to put together an action plan for you to help you navigate your way through 2023. So comment below and I'll be pinning and contacting the best comment.